Why you still can't speak English, even if you understand everything. What if everything you've been told about speaking English was upside down? What if fluency had less to do with how good your grammar looks on paper and everything to do with how boldly your mouth moves when no one is watching? If you've ever understood the words but still stayed quiet when it mattered, this isn't your fault. You weren't shown how fluency really works. Today, we're changing that. Not with more rules, not with more worksheets, with something older, simpler, and far more powerful, turning your mouth into a fluency engine. By the end of this, you won't just know what to do, you'll feel it. You'll have a routine that rewires hesitation into momentum. And if you stick with it, your voice won't just improve, it will come alive. Most learners make the same honest mistake. They study, they memorize, they test well. Then someone asks a simple question and everything freezes. It feels like your thoughts are trapped behind glass. You can see them, yet you can't reach them in time. That's not a memory problem. That's a training problem. You trained your brain, you didn't train your mouth. It's the difference between reading about swimming and touching the water, between watching someone dance and feeling the rhythm in your own body, between knowing a song and singing it from your chest. Once you accept that fluency is physical, built in breath, lips, tongue, timing, the path becomes obvious. You speak to get better at speaking. Here's the uncomfortable truth schools skip. Your brain can store 1,000 words, but your mouth will still trip over the first sentence if it hasn't practiced delivering them. Mental memory is a library. Muscle memory is a highway. Libraries are important, yes, but highways move people. When your mouth learns a rhythm, it stops asking for permission. It just goes. That's why people who repeat short, simple lines daily often sound more natural than people who study complex grammar silently. It isn't magic, it's mileage. It's the number of times your voice has carried a thought from inside you to the air in front of you. Think back to the last time you tried to explain a video you'd just watched. You understood every word while watching. Then someone asked, "So what was it about?" You hesitated. Your brain had the ideas, but your mouth hadn't rehearsed the delivery. If you had paused the video every 30 seconds and repeated out loud, even imperfectly, you would have been ready. That's the switch we're flipping today, from silent understanding to audible ownership. The moment your lips and tongue start repeating with rhythm, your confidence stops. So how do you build this fast? You train like an athlete of sound, not for hours, for minutes, but daily. You'll warm up, speed up, sharpen, stretch, and lock in an identity. 5 short exercises that spark automaticity. 10 minutes that turn pressure into flow. And before we dive into them, remember, confidence is not a prize you get for being perfect. Confidence is a side effect of repetitions done out loud. The world gives you applause later. Your mouth gives you permission now. Start with the simplest victory. Wake your voice. Stand or sit tall, breathe into your belly, and speak a few lines slowly and clearly. I am here. I can speak. I don't need to be perfect. I need to be free. My English doesn't need permission. It needs practice. This isn't poetry. It's a switch. It tells your nervous system that your mouth is open for business. It shifts you from student mode to speaker mode. You're not whispering into a void. You're placing sound into the room. That matters. Your ears are listening to your courage, and your brain learns from your ears. Now give your lips and tongue a workout. Clusters, mini sprints. Say short groups 3 times, each round a little faster, but always clear. Better, batter, butter. Coffee, copy, company. Run, rule, roll, ready. Between sets, breathe. Don't chase speed, chase smoothness. Speed arrives when smoothness becomes effortless. If you stumble, smile and repeat. Stumbles are not mistakes. They're proof that you're adding new wiring. Muscles learn through little struggles. Keep the round short and punchy. 2 minutes. Done. Your mouth is warmer, quicker, more awake. Sharpen with tongue twisters. Start slow, then nudge the pace. She sells seashells on the seashore. 30 thirsty thinkers thought thrilling thoughts. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Say them like a game, not an exam. The goal isn't perfection, it's precision under gentle pressure. You'll feel your jaw and tongue negotiate space. That's gold. Overtrain with tricky lines and normal speech becomes easier. After a few rounds, read one regular sentence. Notice how clean it sounds. That relief you feel? That's fluency unfurling. Stretch ideas into fuller sentences. Choose a simple seed and grow it one layer at a time. I want to speak. I want to speak better. I want to speak better English. I want to speak better English every day. I want to speak better English every day with confidence. This teaches you to flow, not just fire single words. It also stops translation overload. Instead of hunting for the right grammar, you're letting the sentence expand naturally. Do this with he, she, we, they, I, each one a little story. He is learning. He is learning at home. He is learning at home by speaking daily. This is grammar without thinking about grammar. It's structure turned into instinct. End with identity, the most powerful force in any habit. Say it plainly. I am an English speaker. I don't wait for confidence. I create it. I practice out loud. I welcome rough edges because they polish me. My voice matters. My words hold weight. I am becoming fluent every single day. Say it twice with breath. Identity statements don't just make you feel good. They anchor behavior. People act like the person they believe they are. Tell your nervous system who you're becoming, and your choices start matching that belief. 5 steps, 10 minutes. One promise. If you do this daily for 7 days, your mouth will feel different. You'll notice it most when you aren't trying, talking while walking, answering quickly, telling small stories with less effort. That small ease is not random. It's the compound interest of tiny sessions. But exercises alone aren't the full story. The breakthrough happens when you stop calling yourself a learner and start living as a speaker in training. That's a quiet shift with loud consequences. Meet Daniel. Not his real name, but a real journey. He knew vocabulary. He had notebooks full of phrases. Still, his mouth locked up in real conversations. One morning he decided to try a new rule: speak first, fix later. He did the 10-minute routine before breakfast. On the subway, he described what he saw in tiny sentences. This seat is empty. That woman is reading. The train is fast today. At lunch, he stretched one idea into 3. By day 5, he wasn't studying. He was living in English. On day 7, he ordered food without rehearsing the lines in his head. He felt a surge of energy, the kind you get when a door finally opens, after years of pushing. Nothing mystical happened. He trained his mouth to move when his brain thought. That alignment felt like freedom. So why doesn't everyone do this? Because fear is convincing. Fear says, wait until you're ready. Fear whispers, people will judge. Fear loves silence, but here's what fear never admits. Every fluent speaker you admire sounded awkward at the start. They made clumsy sentences. They paused. They corrected themselves. They kept talking anyway. You don't beat fear by thinking braver thoughts. You beat fear by speaking through it, one short line at a time, until your nervous system learns there's nothing to escape. Your voice is not a danger, it's a doorway. If you've ever waited for the perfect time, you know it never arrives. There's always one more video to watch, one more grammar point to memorize, one more day to postpone. Meanwhile, your mouth grows rusty. Your identity gets quiet. That's why I'm handing you a 7-day challenge that cuts through excuses. 10 minutes a day, 5 steps. A small mission daily that ties English to real life. No partner needed. No fancy tools. Just you, your breath, and a decision you'll be proud of. Day 1 is about starting, even if it's messy. Open your mouth and introduce yourself to yourself. Name, city, one reason you want this. Keep it short, then repeat it 2 more times with smoother rhythm. Whisper if you must. Record 30 seconds if you can. This is your marker, not your masterpiece. Tomorrow, you'll compare and smile at the difference. Day 2 connects English to your world. Describe 5 objects around you. Simple lines. This is my mug. It keeps my coffee warm. I use it every morning before work. Touch the object as you speak. Make it physical. You're telling your brain, English is not a test. It's how I describe my life. For a final minute, stretch one object into a mini story. Where you got it, why you like it, how it fits into your day. Day 3. Taps emotions. Say how you feel in this moment, not how you wish you felt. I'm nervous, but I'm showing up. I feel proud because I didn't skip today. I'm tired, yet I'm still speaking. Emotion feeds memory. When words are tied to feelings, they stick. You're not just practicing sounds. You're practicing honesty in a second language, a skill that makes conversations real. Day 4 tells a tiny story. Pick a memory, a moment you learned something, a small mistake that turned funny, a morning that surprised you. 4 to 6 sentences. Short thoughts, clear rhythm. If you get lost, pause, breathe, and pick up where you left off. The goal is flow, not theater. When you finish, say one line that captures what the moment taught you. That line becomes a hook you'll remember. Day 5 is mirror courage. Look yourself in the eyes and deliver 3 lines of encouragement as if you were coaching a best friend. You're stronger than your doubts. You're learning faster than you think. Your voice is worth hearing. This may feel odd. Do it anyway. Many great speakers rehearse in mirrors because feedback from your own eyes rewires how you treat your voice. Kindness builds stamina. Harshness builds avoidance. Day 6 repeats and stretches. Take a sentence from earlier in the week and grow it. I am learning English today becomes, I am learning English every day because I want to share my ideas without fear. Notice how adding because opens the door to longer, more personal lines. Because turns grammar into purpose. Purpose turns practice into persistence. Day 7 is Identity Day. You've trained 6 days. Today, declare who you are becoming. I am an English speaker in progress. I don't wait for perfect grammar. I practice until my message is clear. My voice gets stronger each time I use it. Say it twice out loud, then once in a soft voice you can keep repeating during the day, walking, waiting, cooking. Quiet repetition glues identity to habit. That's your first week. What happens next? Momentum. You'll feel tiny shifts, fewer pauses, quicker starts, less translating, more trust. Keep the chain unbroken. Put a small calendar on your wall and draw a check after each 10-minute session. If you miss a day, don't spiral. Just restart the next morning. Consistency is not never missing. Consistency is never quitting. Let's address the invisible traps that stall progress. Perfectionism says you must sound right before you speak. Reality says speaking is how you get there. Comparison says other people are ahead. Reality says the only useful comparison is you yesterday versus you today. Overthinking says, craft the perfect sentence in your head first. Reality says a clear, short sentence spoken now beats a perfect sentence imagined forever. If a thought tries to shut your mouth, challenge it with motion. One sentence, out loud, right now. Action wipes fog. Remember the 2 memories driving this, mental and muscle. You've fed mental memory for years, vocabulary lists, grammar tips, test strategies. Now you're feeding muscle memory, rhythm, timing, articulation, breath. Muscle memory learns through cycles. The more loops you run, warm up, drill, sharpen, stretch identity, the faster your mouth handles unexpected moments. You become resilient in conversation. Not because you never stumble, but because stumbles don't stop you. You recover mid-sentence without panic. That is fluency most people never talk about. Recovery speed. Recovery is a superpower. Fluent speakers miss words all the time. They paraphrase. They say it another way. They use a simpler phrase, then expand it. Practice this deliberately. If a word slips away, pivot. I can't remember the exact word, but it means, and keep going. Build this into your routine once a week. It eliminates the fear of blank moments, the fear that keeps millions silent. When blank moments aren't dangerous, conversation becomes play. Now a quick technique that multiplies results. Micro-shadowing. Once a day, pick a short clip from any speaker you like. Listen once. Then repeat 1 or 2 lines out loud in your own voice, matching rhythm loosely, but not mimicking accent. You're borrowing cadence, not identity. This plants variety into your delivery. Your sentences gain music. People listen longer when speech has shape. Small rises, gentle falls, soft pauses where meaning can catch up. Let's talk speed. Fast isn't the goal. Control is. Control comes from clean syllables and honest breath. If you catch yourself racing, slow down on purpose for 2 sentences. Emphasize 1 word lightly per sentence. Then return to normal pace. That reset keeps you clear and actually makes you sound more confident. Viewers and listeners don't remember raw speed. They remember clarity and feeling. They remember whether they trusted your voice. Trust grows when your message is bigger than your fear. Decide what English is for in your life. Promotion, travel, creativity, family. Write 1 sentence that ties practice to purpose and keep it near. When practice feels boring, purpose fuels you. Without purpose, every exercise feels like a chore. With purpose, the same exercise feels like a step toward a life you care about. That shift changes everything on the days motivation is low. You will have low days. Plan for them. Create a minimum dose version of the routine. 1 minute warm-up, 1 cluster, 1 tongue twister slow, 1 stretch sentence, 1 identity line. 3 minutes total. Do it anywhere. The point isn't intensity, it's identity continuity. As long as you touch your voice daily, you remain a speaker in training. Miss 2 days? Start again with the minimum dose. Don't punish yourself. Punishment kills momentum. Gentle restarts build it. Here's a set of quick lines you can use anytime to ignite speech during your day. Today I notice. Right now I see. One thing I'm grateful for is, I used to believe, but now I'm learning. When I speak, I feel. Start with 5 words and expand to 10. These are tiny doors. You walk through and suddenly sentences appear. You don't need perfect topics. You need movement. Movement creates motivation, never the other way around. You're probably wondering about accent. Here's the truth. A clear accent is a trained accent, not a native stamp. Clarity comes from articulation and rhythm, which you are already training. If you want to polish sounds, add 1 minute of focused pairs a few times a week. Ship/sheep, live/leave, bit/beat. But never let accent anxiety silence you. A kind, clear voice beats a flawless imitation every time. People don't connect to your accent. They connect to your honesty. If you've felt stuck for years, you might carry quiet grief, a sense that your voice has been waiting inside, unheard. Give that part of you a place in this routine. 1 minute at the end. Say a line that honors your effort. I'm still here. I still want this. I'm proud I spoke today. That's not fluff. It's fuel. Shame starves practice. Respect feeds it. Let's crystallize the laws that keep your momentum alive. Law 1. If you don't speak, you shrink. Silence doesn't protect you, it reduces you. Speak something small daily to stay expanded. Law 2. If you don't use it, you lose it. Language atrophies without movement. Your 10-minute routine is movement. Law 3. You're always building something, fluency or fear. Every time you speak, fear loses a tiny vote. Keep voting. What does a month of this look like? Week 1, you'll feel friction turn into spark. Week 2, your starts get faster. You won't sit there waiting for the perfect first line. You'll just go. Week 3, you'll catch yourself explaining a thought without translating. That's the mind-mouth highway opening. Week 4, others notice you sound more natural. They might not know why. You will. It's the miles your mouth has traveled. At 60 days, Conversations feel less like tests and more like exchanges. You ask a question, you answer, you follow up. Your timing improves because you trust your mouth to carry you. At 90 days, you won't think English. You'll simply think, and English will arrive. That's when everything gets lighter. You don't need to push the words, you ride them. In case you forget everything in this video, remember this line. Fluency is a habit that your mouth builds, not a grade your brain earns. You don't need permission to begin. You need a small promise you keep. 10 minutes, 5 steps, 1 identity. If a day goes badly, you still win by showing up. If a sentence breaks, you still win by finishing it. If someone rolls their eyes, you still win by staying in the conversation. Your wins are not other people's reactions. Your wins are repetitions completed. If you want an extra edge, stack your routine to an existing habit. Right after brushing your teeth, do your warm-up. After pouring coffee, run your clusters. Before you leave home, do 1 tongue twister. At lunch, stretch 1 sentence. Before sleep, repeat your identity lines. Habit stacks make practice automatic. Automatic practice makes fluency inevitable. You might wonder, what about grammar? Grammar matters, but in speaking, grammar follows rhythm. As your sentences stretch, patterns settle in. If a pattern confuses you, pick 1 tiny rule and practice it out loud for a week. Present simple for routines. Present continuous for right now. Past simple for yesterday. Keep it small and spoken. You'll absorb more through use than through charts. The mouth teaches the mind which rules it truly needs. Your story is changing, not because a teacher gave you a secret, because you gave your voice a chance to work. You honored it with 10 minutes. You proved to yourself that you can start even when nervous. That memory of starting anyway becomes a doorway you can always walk through. When a future conversation feels scary, breathe and remember, I've done my reps. My mouth knows what to do. If you feel the urge to quit, don't argue with the urge. It's loud and dramatic. Instead, do your minimum dose. Then, very quietly say, I practice because I'm building a life where I'm heard. That 1 sentence will pull you back to the why, and the why pulls you through the how. Here's the clean summary you can screenshot in your mind. Warm up with truth. Drill for smoothness. Twist for clarity. Stretch for flow. Declare identity. 10 minutes, daily. Tie practice to purpose. Keep the chain alive. Restart gently when you miss. Add recovery drills. Shadow a line for rhythm. Respect your effort. That's the whole system. You don't need a perfect environment. You need a voice you'll use in imperfect environments. Buses, kitchens, sidewalks, quiet rooms, anywhere becomes a studio when you choose it. That choice is freedom disguised as practice. The more places your voice visits, the more situations it feels safe in. Safety is what turns hesitation into expression. You're not late. You're right on time for the moment you commit. The only version of you that fails is the one that stays silent. Every other version, the messy one, the slow one, the beginner who repeats simple lines with honest breath, that version wins. Not because the world claps today, but because tomorrow gets easier. So here's the last invitation. Don't promise me anything. Promise yourself 10 minutes. Right after this, do your first round, say the warm-up lines, run 1 cluster, speak 1 twister slowly, stretch 1 sentence, finish with identity, then draw 1 small checkmark somewhere you'll see it. That ink is not just a mark, it's proof that your new voice exists outside your head. If this message lit a spark, turn spark into sound. Tell me 1 line in the comments, the purpose you're choosing for your English, not a paragraph, 1 line with weight. Then subscribe if you want a steady rhythm of routines and challenges that keep your chain unbroken. We're not here to sell you magic. We're here to build your muscle. And when your mouth moves daily, fluency stops being a dream you chase and becomes a direction you walk. Your voice doesn't need permission. It needs practice. You don't wait for confidence. You create it in 10 minutes, not someday. Today. Speak now. and don't go back to silence.